I feel like being alone is sometimes the best teacher. Like pain is the best teacher. Like the pain has made me become a better person. Like I guarantee like people will see me now and be like, wow, like this quarantine already changed him a lot. It's just like he's become more mature because right before quarantine, like I was thinking about this stuff like this, but I wasn't really like going at it. I was like more distracted by everything, school and like sports and everything. But then like this quarantine happened. It made me live in reality, and I was like, wow, like I need to fix things like fast. Because during school, I'll just go to school, have baseball practice, work out, go home, and my parents would be sleeping by the time I got home. So like sometimes I wouldn't even see them, and so it was just like being able to see them now. I've been trying to build a better connection with them, but it's just like when I'm feeling lonely and stuff, it's like my mind isn't always the best.
Welcome to Taking Off the Mask. My name is Ashanti Branch, and I'm really glad you've joined us. Today's guest is Justin Odom. He's a high school senior here in the Bay Area, and he's a thinker. He's a filmmaker, and he's doing some amazing work at his school right now. I got introduced to Justin by a young man who's in Taiwan, who I'm kind of mentoring, but also who used to live here in the Bay Area. And it's just an amazing turn of events has allowed Justin to not only be a part of the Million Mask movement, but he is bringing the Million Mask movement to his school. And the leadership class is taking the Million Mask movement to the rest of the school, and actually is going to be starting really, really soon, before the end of the year. And so we're here in 2020, the end of the year. So many things are going on, but there's some fire burning in his belly of like helping other young people going through what he may have went through. I met Justin after he created his own video on his YouTube channel, Justin Relates. And his latest video is called Hiding Behind Our Masks, which is about the Million Mask movement. And when you watch it, you'll see masks that he goes and talks to people about their mask. Such a beautiful piece he's created. In his first piece on his channel, you'll see him telling his own personal story of battle, of feelings and not talking about it, but also hitting some breaking points. And so I hope that you will check him out. You'll see all the information in the show notes. But what I really want you to be listening to in this conversation is a young man who is taking what he's learned and sharing it with others. If you haven't yet had a chance to make a mask, I'm inviting you to go to www.100kmasks.com. That's www.100kmasks.com and create a mask and join this movement. And if you like what you hear, share it with somebody. If you know a young person or an older person, a man in our community that we should talk to, please let us know about him. And we look forward to being with you in this movement of helping men and boys and young men talk about what's going on behind the mask. So enjoy this conversation. We look forward to seeing you soon. Ever forward. Welcome to the Taking Off the Mask podcast. Today's guest is Justin Odom. He's a high school senior, and I'm going to let Justin introduce himself. I'm really excited to be on this call with him. Justin and I got introduced. He's right here in the Bay Area where I live, but I got introduced to him by a young man in Taiwan. How amazing is that? Like a young man from Taiwan said, "Hey, I think you should meet this young man," and that's right here next to where I live. Like, how amazing. So Justin, why don't you tell everybody, introduce yourself, tell them, where you're from, and just give them whatever you want them to know about you.
Okay. My name is Justin Odom. I'm from the Bay Area. I'm currently going to Encinal High School, and honestly, over quarantine, I've just felt like a passion to help others out and start doing my own little film, start a YouTube channel. And I've also partnered up with you guys to bring a Million Mask movement to my school and hopefully spread it out even more.
Man, and that's been super amazing. So, for those out there, one of the things that we realize in this work is that the more that we can help people in their own community use this work, then it grows. Like you hear what Justin said? He's like leading it at his high school, and now his entire high school is going to participate in the Million Mask movement. And then the idea is that potentially they're going to help other schools in their own district to then participate as well. So imagine if you could be a part of something that you to get inspired by, and then you can go out and help others to experience it as well. So Justin, I'm really excited, and thank you for leading the charge. I'm excited about your student leadership crew. Seem really excited, and so this work, this mask. Like when was the first time you made a mask? When was the first time? I know you made one before, and we're gonna make one again together live. But when was the first time you made one?
Well, actually in freshman year, we had a class called digital citizenship, and basically there's a documentary, and I realized you were in it. It's called The Mask You Live In, and we actually took a little time to make our own mask, and it was like, I don't know, it was crazy because it was anonymous too, and we just all wrote on a piece of paper, and then she was like, okay, write 3 words on the front, 3 words on the back, and it was like the first time, and then I was like, you know what, I like this, because freshman year, like, I was super lost because I had pneumonia, and I came back and I was like, man, like, there's so much work to catch up on. I was just, I give up, and so then when we did the mask, it just felt like the whole room was more connected. Like she wasn't reading out the names because we couldn't write our names, but like just to see everyone's reaction when she's like, "Oh yeah, someone's feeling lost, someone's feeling lonely." It's just like you could tell people were like had a sense of sorrow, like sorrowness in them, and it's like everybody just felt like sympathetic for each other. And it's like you could tell just the whole, I would say like I don't know, the whole like mood around the whole classroom just like settled down, and everyone seemed like they were there for each other. And it was like it was a good experience, and I was like, that's when I was like, man, I was like, I want to like start documentaries like this, and like do little films that would help others out around the world.
Man, I did not know that. I did not know that you made a mask before I came to your leadership class. So that's amazing.
Yeah,
And it's also amazing that you had the chance to not only bring it to your, like, you was experienced it as a freshman, and now as a senior you're back again and you get to share it with them even more. That's really exciting, and I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you for that. I believe that is what's going to help us to absolutely make a difference in our communities, right? When people see it, and maybe they got to see it twice. Maybe as a freshman you weren't ready to take on leadership, right? You were trying to figure out just to lead yourself. But imagine, like, right now being able to not only say, well, you know what, now I want to take this to other students. Maybe there's a freshman right now who's going through what I went through as a freshman, and I can support him or him or her, right? Um,
exactly.
so, man, one of the things that we do in this work is we ask people to draw these masks. And so maybe what you and I can do first is go ahead and do that. Was there anything else you
Okay.
want to say before we jump in?
No, I mean,
Okay. Well, one of the things we're trying to do also in this podcast is we're trying to figure out how do we create more experience that we just go right in, right? Because sometimes
yeah,
we have a longer talk before, and sometimes we go right into the work.
yeah.
So now we'll get a chance to jump right into the work. So here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
So you have a piece of paper? You have your piece of paper?
Yeah, I got
Okay,
it.
great. So we have the paper folded in half. Okay, great. Um,
Okay.
and if you're out there and you want to make a mask, what you're going to do is you can go to www.100kmasks.com. That's www.100kmasks.com, and you can create your own mask, and you can be a part of this global movement. And what we're going to do together is we're going to actually go through the activity together, and we invite you, if you're interested, to do that as well. And so there's 3 steps. It's 1 picture plus 6 words. We tell people it's really simple. 1 picture and 6 words. If you want to write more than 6 words, perfect, great. But if you only got 6, great. And it's going to seem really easy, and then maybe it may not be as easy as it sounds. Okay. So the first step, do you know the first step, Justin? How about you've done this a couple of times or at least once?
Yeah,
What's the first step that we're going to do?
we're gonna draw the mask, and then we're gonna put 3 words of what we show people, like our true emotions, or not true emotions, what we want people to see about us,
Yeah. Let's stop
what we
there.
don't
Let's
hide.
that was perfect. Actually, you already know it. So let's tell people the first step. What's the first step?
To draw a mask and then just write 3 words of what you want to show people about yourself.
Okay. So actually, you're doing great because you're telling people both steps. That's first 1 and 2. So that's even
Oh, okay.
easier, right? So our first step on which side are we drawing the mask? Which side?
Left.
Left side. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a couple of minutes and let's draw a mask. Okay. You already get your mask drawn? You still drawing?
I got the first side, and then the right side we just write words, right?
Yeah. Well, let's.
Or
I haven't done step 2 yet, so I'm gonna. Step 1 was to draw the mask, and step 2
mhm,
was on the same side where the mask is. What we're gonna write.
3 words that we show people.
Yeah.
I
There.
put it on my mask.
Okay. There are 3 words like or that are characteristics or qualities of yourself that you want people to see, that you gladly let people see, right? So let me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get. You're already ahead of me, so let me go ahead and write those. I'm gonna go. Okay. So now I got my words on the front. I got my picture of the mask, and I got words on the front, which are qualities I gladly let people see. And then the third step is which? What's the third step?
To write 3 words that you truly like feel, or characteristics that you don't let people see, or struggles.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautifully said. Things, struggles, things that you normally don't let people see. Could be like more of your truth, right? So that goes in the back.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. So now we're at the reveal part, right? We made the mask, and now you get a chance to decide who goes first. So we're gonna first share the front of our mask, and then we'll share the back. And so, who would you like to go first?
I want to see your mask.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay. All right, so I only have one image drawn. I'll fold it back this way so you can just see the front. So try and get the light right. So this is the front. Oops. The front says, let me get the, how about that? The front says funny, serious, and hardworking. Those are the front of my mask. The funny, serious, hardworking. I think I like to laugh. I love humor. I don't like humor at the expense of somebody else. I don't think it's funny to make fun of people. Cause I think growing up, I had a lot of people make fun of me, and now I was the butt of the jokes, and that didn't feel good. So I like people to laugh, but not at the expense of. I may talk about myself, but it's not like I'm making fun of that person so those people will laugh. That's not the kind of funny that
Hmm.
I like. I just think that it's good to laugh. It feels good to enjoy a chuckle or a joke or something that's is appropriate or whatever. But serious, I'm also really serious. I think sometimes I'm intense. Sometimes people on my team they know that I'm really intense. Um, and sometimes I'm my intenseness. I try and make it funny, which then makes it not really clear what I'm actually asking for. Like if I'm really
Hmm.
telling somebody, "Hey, I need you to step up with something. I need you to do this." I'll be saying it kind of like in a funny way because I want to make it light and easy. I realize that that's actually not really good to mix those two sometimes. Like sometimes when you're
Yeah.
being really serious, like you need to be really clear. And I've been working on that. And then hardworking. Like I work hard, and so something hardworking. I think it started when I was really young, taking care of my siblings. My father died before I was born, so my mom, it was just us. And after my next brother was born, my sister, then my brother. At 7 years old, I was responsible for helping take care of the house and take care of my siblings, and I was cooking and cleaning and washing and all. I mean, those are just maybe for some people just normal chores, but I felt like I had like a lot of responsibilities really young, and
Hmm.
and I still today, I'm really a hard worker. I can work hard, and I can work hard for a long time. Um, I'm not as good at like directing people to do stuff as good. I'm getting better at that.
Hmm.
But I know what it means to work hard, and so also it's for some people, if they're not working hard, like I feel that, and I may make a judgment about it because I work really hard. I sometimes may push people harder than they're ready to be pushed, because
Yeah.
their idea of hard work is different than mine. So that's the front of my mask. Yeah. So how about you?
Okay. Well, I actually you gave me an idea about the serious part, so I put Can you see it?
Yeah.
So I put funny, serious, and protective. Um, yeah, with my friends too. I guess I don't know. Over quarantine, it's like I'll have my days where I'm moody and everything, but it's like I just won't go out or anything. But when I go out, I just try to bring like light and energy, like no matter what. Like I'm always trying to, I don't know, make someone else laugh. Like that's what my life is about. I'd rather see someone happy before I see myself happy. I mean, I know it's not the best thing, but it's like that's just how I've been raised too. Just not be selfish and just care about somebody else before like worrying about myself. It's just like not being greedy, basically. So like I'd rather be making the jokes and helping other people laugh and hopefully boost their day up. And
Yeah.
then also, yeah, I changed mine to serious because you were right. Like a lot of people at school or something. Like I'm not. I used to be like very outgoing, but then like a lot of stuff just happened, so it was like more like I'm just to myself now, and
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. Sometimes like I'm not like the serious like sometimes I'm not serious. Like if it's a good day, I'm not trying to be like negativity or anything, but it's like I take what I do serious. So like I don't know, like with the filmmaking and everything, I'm taking that very serious now, and it's like
Yeah.
I take like you said, like people messing with people I love or care about. Like, I take that serious, and that's leading to my third one, which is like protective. If
Yeah.
I love someone, like I'm gonna protect them with all I have, like no matter what. Like I'll die for someone I love. Like it's like it goes that deep.
Take a deep breath, man. That was awesome. I have a question. Um, what was the word that you crossed out when you put serious?
It was supportive, but like
Mm,
I don't know. Some people can see me as supportive, but it's like if I know someone's doing the wrong thing, I'm not gonna be supportive about it. So it's like that's where like the serious part comes. It's like a contradicting thing. It's like I'm either supportive or I'm serious. So like someone's wanting to do something wrong, I'm just like no, like just don't do that. But if they're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and it's like a good idea, I'm like, go for it.
yeah,
You know?
that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful that you like have. So first of all, thank you for doing that. How did that feel? Like how did that feel? Like you made it once as a freshman. You maybe made it once, maybe a month or two ago when I met with your class. But how was it right now making a mask like right now, like in this
I mean,
space?
it felt different because I mean, like even from that month ago, like things have changed already. So it's
Yeah,
like life is changing day by day.
yeah,
So
yeah,
like every day I adapt to something new. But it's like I'm gonna always keep true to myself.
yeah. Well, here's the next part of our truth, right? Here's the other
Yep.
side, yeah. Okay, so here we go. This is let me get the right angle of the light so it doesn't like blast people. Okay, here we go. That's looking bright, so bright. What's going on with the light? Okay. Oh
Oh,
wait, I
it
just
is.
had it.
Yeah,
Okay, wait,
right
there it
there.
is. There it is. Okay. So fear of failure, sadness about death, and childhood trauma. And yeah, I think when I think about this mask and I think about like how hard I work and then the fear of failure, I think the one that reckon like resonated with me really today. We're on this holiday week where I'm thinking like, okay, I'll take the week off, but I don't really take the week off because I got so many things I'm working on projects, and I'm like, okay, my fear of failure is like okay, you can gotta keep going and keep going, keep going. And so this morning I had like 5 meetings already, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Like, it's not really a holiday for most people. It's only a holiday for schools, but I sometimes think I'm still in that school schedule. Um, and so I think like this idea, like I'm trying to find a balance between that fear of failure and like the truth that I don't believe that I'm good enough, right? Sometimes, right? That
Hmm.
I feel like if I don't work super hard, then people can call me lazy, and then it must mean I'm not working hard enough, which then must mean that I don't really want the goals that I say I want. And so I think I go dance back and forth between like the feeling of like, man, like I don't want to be a failure, like, and so I work so hard, like, right? Um, And then it also sometimes in the place of like when I think about the sadness about death and childhood trauma, like I I always thought that at some point I would get over it, the sadness about my father's death. Right, my father
Mhm.
passed away before I was born, so I never met him, but I always felt like I was missing him.
Yeah.
Right, and growing up, I didn't have a place to talk about feelings too much. My mom
Yeah.
was really loving and caring, but we didn't sit around talking about how you felt. It was just go
Mhm.
wash this, go clean that, go do that, finish those chores, do your homework, go take care of your sister, take her out to the play. Like, what? Who got time to talk about the fact that I feel worried or sad or all the drama that was going on in my own little, you know, elementary, middle school life, right? So I just
Mhm.
kept it all together. Uh, I kept all those emotions back. I didn't talk about them, especially not in any of the childhood trauma, the really
Yeah.
painful things that happened. So, yeah, this is real, and I think it's some of these things have been blocking me from writing this book, right? The fear of
Mhm.
failure. Like I'm not writing the book. I'm in the book writing process, but I always find myself like not doing some other stuff, right?
Mhm.
Because it's easier to go and check some emails and have a conversation with a young person than it is to sit down and write.
Yeah.
I think I'm a fear of failing at writing the book. So I'm purposely doing other stuff that's important, but it's not writing the book.
Yeah.
So if I don't have the book, no one can. It can't be a failure. So I
Yeah.
think I'm working through breaking through those walls right now. So I'll stop there for now. That's the back of my mask.
I would say to take the risk, make the book, because like I don't know. I just read a quote the other day, and it's like the biggest risk we take is not taking the risk at all. It's like it's so true. And I was
Oh,
just talking to my father like the other day. I mean, me and him, we talk, but it's like here and there, you know. But
yeah.
we live together, but he works like all day. Like yeah, I gotta like I appreciate him a lot, but it's like he is like honestly because I've been talking a lot about like oh, did my camera go off for a little?
Oh, you're okay. It's okay.
Oh, okay. I potential spam, but we I don't know. I just been thinking about like my future a lot, and he's like honestly just take whatever risk. He's like because if you don't take one at all, you'll never know. Like you can it could go bad or it can go good. He's like, but you can't be the one to change it. He's like, just let it happen.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful that he's encouraging you to take risks.
Yeah, but no, yeah, you should drop a book. You should write one.
Oh,
I would for sure read it.
okay. Well, maybe you have to help me write an excerpt in it.
All right. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I
All
took
right.
I took AP English.
Awesome. Well, maybe that'll be a good way for. Yeah. Okay. I got you. Okay. All right. All right. Let's do it. Let's
Yep.
do it. Let's do it.
Gotta motivate you.
Thank you, brother. That means a lot. I think that's powerful, right? Thank you for those words, right? I think sometimes even in our biggest goals, like sometimes we just gotta help somebody help us talk us through it, right?
Hmm.
And those that means a lot from you who know me just a little bit to say, no, do it, go after it, right? Like
Yeah.
those are I think sometimes we just need it. We just need to hear it, right?
Yeah.
And it may not mean we're gonna I've now overcome the fear, right?
Yeah.
but it also says, but man, what's holding you back? Like what the risk would be not to write it, and then all of a sudden you'd be wondering what would have happened. What would have happened?
Mm,
I could have had I could have, I should have, I would have,
yeah.
and then
Exactly.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
there's so much you could lose. I mean, either way you could lose a lot,
that's right, that's right.
but
So might as well
as
lose
long as
on
you
the.
take the risk,
There you
uh,
go.
it
Okay,
could be
I
a
hear you. I hear you, motivator. I hear you,
yeah.
Justin. All right, dropping some nuggets right here.
Yep.
All right. Well, maybe now is your turn.
Okay. So for mine, I put. Can you see it? I
Yeah.
put I'm lost, lonely, and depressed. For like the lost part, it's more like in my own mind. It's like about my future and everything. Because I know I'm not gonna be like straight to a 4-year university because like family like income and stuff. Like I'm not trying to pay so much debt in my future either. So it's just like I've been looking for other like other outlets to where I could hopefully put a future for myself and be able to help my own family out. Because like everyone in my family, like we're not the most money gifted people, so it's like we all struggle like every day. Like my auntie and uncle, like my dad's siblings, like they're both single parents raising like 5 kids together, and they're working like all day every day. And it's like if I was just having the ability to help them out, I'd like do that right away. And it's like same with my grandparents. Like my grandpa, he's like a military veteran, but he's not like the most like knowledgeable person, so he doesn't use it like because you could get like discounts and everything. Like he's just like, it's whatever, but he's struggling like every day because he's like not taking the risk to go get the thing he wants. And honestly, it's just like in my life, like I'm just lost. Like a lot of people, I don't know. It's just like it leads to the lonely part. It's like friends, they come and go for me. It's like I feel like I probably only have like one or two real friends, but it's like those are the true friends. Like if I was to make it big or something, like I'd for sure bring them along with me just for keeping me up while I was always down or something. But no, yeah, it's just like life. I mean, I feel like being alone is sometimes the best teacher. Like pain is the best teacher. Like the pain has made me become a better person. Like I guarantee, like people will see me now and be like, "Wow, like this quarantine already changed him a lot." It's just like he's become more mature. Because right before quarantine, like I was thinking about this stuff like this, but I wasn't really like going at it. I was like more distracted by everything, school and like sports and everything. But then like this quarantine happened. It made me live in reality, and I was like, wow, like I need to fix things like fast. Because during school, I'll just go to school, have baseball practice, work out, go home, and my parents would be sleeping by the time I got home. So like sometimes I wouldn't even see them, and so it was just like being able to see them now. I've been trying to build a better connection with them, but it's just like when I'm feeling lonely and stuff, it's like my mind isn't always the best. And I think that leads into like my depression. I've been I've been dealing with that ever since my grandma died. And like you said, like losing a family member or someone to death, like it hits you a lot. Because when we're struggling to, like live in our own place, we live with her. And it was like no bedrooms, just kitchen, one little living room and a bathroom. And I mean, it made me, even though I was so young, like when I got older, it was like, man, like I was grateful to even have that. And like I would hide it. Like that's like back in the like elementary, I used to tell people like, oh, I live in this mansion because I went to school in like Bayform, and those kids all have money. And it's like I'm the only one here. Like I don't know what like I don't have the same shoes that everyone else has. I just had one pair. And like I said, it made me just feel grateful, and it's just like opened my eyes to see just like I'm glad I can even walk, like even breathe. And even though some people like they get to the point where it's like, oh, if I just end it here, like all the pain will go away. But like my whole thing is like, man, like no matter how far I've been down, and like even if I had those thoughts, it's like I can't disappoint, and that's like the failure part. So like a lot of my stuff connects to you too, which is pretty cool to me. And then yeah, it's like the failure. Like I made promises like to my parents. I was like, man, I'm gonna be rich one day, and I'm gonna just help you guys get out. And
Yeah.
it's just like I can't fail them, and it's just like yeah. But like the first part, just the loss. It's just I'm just lost in my mind because I think too much. I overthink. Like you're my ex girlfriend. She would always be like, man, you think way too much. And it's just like
Mhm.
I don't know. Like I don't really see it as a problem, but like I guess people do nowadays. But it's like I don't know. Whenever I overthink about some situation, it always ends up happening like how I overthink about it. So it's like it's weird because a lot of people are like they get annoyed by it or something, but a lot of the time it's just what really happens. And so it's like I don't know. And then that just leads to depression too. It's like you see something from a mile away, but you just don't want to believe it will happen, you
Yeah.
know? And so like, yeah, when people like leave me or something, it's just like I see it, but it's still like you still hold on to them. And it's like, oh, I care so much about them, like I can't just move on,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like I've lost friends, lost a girlfriend, like, but honestly, at the end of the day, you just need to focus on yourself and love yourself. And that's what my father always told me. He's like, man, you're not gonna be able to love anyone until you love yourself. And
Mm,
he's always like,
yeah.
you see me every day, like even if me and your mom argue, he's like, man, I'm gonna always be myself and be the best person I can be, and just keep working on myself. So I mean, all of his advice is what's like hitting me now, because he told me that when I was like 12. So
Yeah.
it was like I'm starting to grow into it, and yeah.
First, I want to say, man, that was beautiful, and thank you for sharing that. I think the first time I heard of you and a little bit of your story was when you started making those videos, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And did when you were brave enough to tell your story and you clicked, you uploaded it to YouTube, and then you were clicking like, okay, takes you to all those steps, right? It's like,
Yeah,
oh, do
yeah,
you want to put a header and a footer? Do you want to put blah blah? And you're just like,
yeah.
do I want to publish now or schedule for later? Like, what was that feeling like to like? Because you let your heart out on that video, you
I still
know?
remember that day like it was yesterday. I was actually I filmed the video like a month before, right when I got the camera. I was like, man,
Okay.
I was like, because I was just so like lost. Like it was just like I was overwhelmed by everything happening. It was just like I don't know, it wasn't feeling like I had anybody. And then I was like, man, I just gotta, if I share my story, I know there's so many other people out there that are feeling the same way. And it's like if I could get those people to share theirs, then more people will connect. And it's like maybe I could even make new friends or something, have people that I could care about. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like my life, like I said, is just all about caring. Like I want to care about someone, it's just like I want to make sure someone's doing good. But that day that I finalized all the edits and everything, I um I had it like sitting on my phone, like the YouTube studio. And it was like I went to like this spot with my friends and we're just biking around. You're like, oh, when are you gonna post a YouTube video? I was like, man, I'm gonna post it. I was like, I'm gonna post it at 5. And I leave my house at like 4:30. And then it's 5 and they're like, wait, did you post a video? I was like, oh no. I was like, oh I'm gonna post at like 6. And so we just bike around and they're like, man, when are you gonna post a video? I was like, oh, at 7, so it just kept going later and later. And then I was like, they're like, dude, just do it. I was like, you know what? I was like, it's all or nothing. And that's where the risk came in. I was like, it's either, people are going to judge me or they're just going to understand and I'm going to be able
Yeah.
to connect with even more people. And honestly, I'm very glad I took the risk because I had a lot of people share their story with me too. And it
Yeah.
was crazy because, like, I had a lot of notifications and it took me like 3 days to respond to everyone. But it was like I was like doing my best. I was staying until like 5 in the morning just responding to people. And so like it was a crazy experience, but it came with a lot of like overwhelming too, because like my parents never knew about it or anything. So
Mhm.
they found the video, and my mother was just very sad for like a couple of days. So it was like
Yeah.
even though I helped a lot of other people, it's like people closest to me, like it hurt them, and
Mm.
it was like so I like took a little break, but I'm going back to doing it like this month with the
Yeah.
mask video.
Yeah, man. I was thinking about that. So when you said that, your mom saw the video and then she felt upset or hurt that she didn't know about it, like what is your feeling about that now, thinking back? That's that was that win and loss, like it's like the yin and yang, right? It's like, okay,
Uh,
these things are gonna be like gonna be some positive outcomes from this, and there's also gonna be some things that are more maybe gonna hurt first, right?
yeah,
But ultimately, I think it's in that space of like you liberating yourself, right? Like, right, because it's really about you finding you're about to be an adult. Like, if it was like 1,000 years ago, you'd already be an adult. You'd be a warrior. You'd be a hunter. You'd have a probably already be having making kids, right? Like it's
hmm,
only now in this Western world where we have like, well, between 13 and 18, you're just adolescent. You have no responsibility really, right? But there's real stuff happening in those
Yeah.
years, real life happening. There's real challenges happening. And so, what do you feel about it now? You know, in the moment, you know, her having hurt feelings about it, but what do you feel about it now? About taking that risk and like letting yourself get free, right?
Yeah.
Because yeah,
I mean, that's exactly what I told them. Like, my dad, like my father, he's been like treating me like I'm a grown man since I was like 14 probably. He's like, man, like it's gonna come faster than you think. And so like he gave me a phone call because I was still out with my friends. I stayed out that night, and he's like,
mm,
man, he's like, honestly, he's just like, I wish you would have just been truthful with me. He's like, why'd you have to hide it, blah blah. I mean, we talked and he understood. Like, he understands. Like, even with being like a teenager nowadays, there's like, I don't know, we're in a generation where it seems like everybody's like very depressed or something.
yeah,
And it's like, I don't know what it might be the coronavirus right now. It might be, I don't know. It just seems like everyone's down, and a lot of
yeah,
people are lost, and it's like all the suicide rates are going up and everything, and it's just like, I don't know. For me, I don't want somebody else to go through that pain. It's
yeah,
like I felt it, and I don't want other people to. So it's like, I don't know. I told my parents basically that, I was like, honestly, it's not. I don't really care about like how it's gonna affect me or anything. I was like, I just know there's gonna be other people on the outside, like who are wanting to share their story. And my mom and dad, they're understanding, like they're
yeah,
open people. So like it's like at first they were upset, and my mom was still upset, and she was like, "Why'd you do this?" Blah blah. I was like, honestly, I was like, like I said, it's not for me. It's to help other people out. I was like, if I can come out, I was like, anyone can. And like
yeah,
people always like, even at school, like I'd come upset some days and people were like, you good? I'd be like, I'm perfect. But it's like, man, I was not. I was super close to just losing it. And like
yeah,
sometimes I just go home and just lose it. And but yeah, my mother, she was, like I said, she was upset, but I feel like I'm a very I'm a very like talkative person, so I
yeah,
can like persuade people, not in a no bad way, but like
yeah,
it's like I can influence them to just trust me. Like,
yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
trustworthy person.
Do you think that just out of that in that part, do you think that she was more worried about how people were going to see you, or was she feeling like it was some blame on her? Do you know which one that she
Yeah,
was feeling?
it wasn't how people were gonna be on me. It was the blame on her. Like she was like, "What could I have done?" Like, I'm sorry. And then she's like, you want to go to therapy, blah blah. Like she just gave me options and everything. But it was like honestly, like as long as I just got like supportive parents or something,
Yeah,
is like that's all that matters. I was like, I'm like, if I can talk in front of a camera, like, I don't need to talk to a therapist. I was like, and I was like, that costs a lot of money. I was like, save your money for something else. I was like, I've been through it. And that was the thing. Like, that was I guess, positive but negative, like, thing about me holding it for so long. Cause, like,
yeah,
there's some points where I'll just get through it and then out of nowhere just hit again.
yeah,
And so, I mean, that's how
yeah,
it's been during this quarantine. Like, sometimes I'll be cool. I mean, I wouldn't say full of happy. Like, I've been trying, like, differentiate like what's happiness like compared to me just getting distracted by things, like hanging out and stuff. So it's just like I think, yeah, I don't know, it was like, I don't know, it was, yeah, it was a good and a bad
yeah,
thing. Like, it was a risk, but I feel like at the end of the day it's more of a positive thing. It helped me become more mature and help my mom and dad understand like what I was going through.
yeah. Well, first of all, I want to just say I'm very proud of you for that, and I appreciate you. You actually inspired me to like I told one of my team members, I said, look, I got a bunch of videos in my phone that I've made over the years, and I just
Uh-huh.
don't share them. Like I just been
Yeah.
like, I've started sharing more of them, but I'm still
Uh-huh.
like, I've like 100 plus, more than 100. Let's say
Yeah.
way more than 100. But I'm like, that one's not gonna be good. Oh, that one's not gonna. Who wants to hear what I got to say? And I remember when I watched your video, I was just like, first of all, it was edited really nice. First of all, that was not. I don't have that kind of
Thank
skill,
you.
but nonetheless, just the fact that you were sharing from your heart was really powerful. And I think this idea of like, I think it was a book that says present over perfect.
Hmm.
What if I don't worry about trying to make it perfect? What if I don't make a plan in my mind that I need a video that's going to go viral? What if I just have a video that's true for me?
Yeah.
When you made that video, when I saw it, I was like, how courageous and how beautiful that was. So I just want to first honor you for just being courageous around sharing some of your truth, right? And I think,
Thank you.
and I'm glad that you did, and I hope that also that you don't, if your mom is offering you therapy, that you, when you need it, you go to it. Don't underestimate the need, and
Hmm.
having just even having somebody to talk to about it. So it may mean just
Yeah.
have a friend, right? It may mean
Hmm.
a friend that you can like really take off the mask with and really get real. Because sometimes we just need to let some of that steam out, right?
Exactly.
No,
That's
we
like the whole thing.
yeah.
Like when she was like, "You want therapist?" I was like, "No, it's cool." I was like, "I got like my friend I was talking about earlier." I was like, "I know he'll always have my back. Like I'll always have his." That's like the one friend I've like. That's one of the only friends I've ever like cried in front of or anything. And it's like we actually used to not even like each other. It was crazy, but that's like my best friend. And it's like
Yeah.
I'm like as long as I just got like one person to talk to, I'll be fine. I mean, even if it's my mother,
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
like I said, I
Oh,
feel like being alone sometimes is just your best teacher. Like you find yourself, you can find yourself, even if it's hard. Like I've been just doing, trying to find what I like and what makes me happy. Like this whole quarantine, and
yeah.
it's like I realized my happiness depended on people. Like I relied on other people to make me happy, and it's like when uh, like relationships and everything. Like a lot of people, they just depend on the other person to make them happy, like make them feel themselves. And it's like when they leave, what are you gonna do?
Right.
And, like all my life, like, I've always lost like people I've always cared. Like it's so weird. The ones that like I love the most, they always end up leaving. It's like, or I just get distant from them. So it's like, I don't know. It's just a different feeling. It's like, man, like that took me, like that took a lot out of me. But it's like, from like even now, I'm just still working to get back to like the better version of me.
Yeah. Man. And I think imagine, what you just said about losing people, and I started off from losing my father before I was even born. So when I started
Hmm.
looking for where's daddy, right? And then to
Yeah.
find out that he's not here, I'm like, well, he has a father, he has so all those things that begin to when you begin to like process those ideas. I heard from one of my mentors along my life say, some people come into your life for a reason, maybe just to connect you with somebody else. Maybe they just came in your life just to tell you a message that you need to know. Like people
Hmm.
you meet somewhere on in a vacation and then you don't see them ever again in your life, right? You meet them just for a reason. Some people you meet for a season, like teachers, like coaches, like whatever. You meet them for a season of your life, right? And some people you meet for a lifetime. And I think that sometimes we get stuck. We think everybody's supposed to be in our life for a lifetime, and
Yeah.
and when it doesn't happen, we're like, what happened? But
Yeah.
everyone's not going to be in your life for a lifetime. Some people are going to be in your life just for a reason, just to give you some nuggets, to plant some seeds in you, to give you some jewels to help you in your future. And
Yeah.
and, and when I heard that, it really helped me to start like my father existed in my life only to provide me. Like he never walked me anywhere, took me anywhere, gave me a hug. He never. But
Yeah.
if without him, I wouldn't be here, right? So it's kind of like this idea that he was a part of my life for some reason, right? Just for that moment of conception, right? Here's this
Yeah.
boy, right? And yeah, he didn't get to see me ever. And so I think
Yeah.
you get those journeys of like, okay. And then when it happens, when we get relationships that happen and we're like, this is gonna be forever, and we end up and it ends up not being forever, we could feel really betrayed. It's like, wait, this is supposed to be forever. Well,
Exactly.
everyone is not meant to be forever. It was for you to learn something, for you to get something, for you to experience something. And now you
Yeah.
go as a better version of yourself to another relationship, right? And who knows, I think so yeah, thanks for mentioning that because that's really powerful as well.
Hmm. No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like what was that? I saw something. It was like oh, I mean, honestly, like it's made me a better person, but at the same time, it's like made me have like doubts, a lot of doubts, like going on to another relationship. Like I've never, like haven't looked forward to that. Like I don't look forward to that honestly. Like it's just like I'm focusing on myself and people around me like that have stuck with me. So it's like I don't know. The lesson that I learned is like no matter how good you can treat someone, they can just turn their back right against you. It's like, but you can't do anything about it. Just you
That's
gotta
right.
live with it. And like
That's
you
right.
said, it's just betrayal. Like it's just like, oh, you do so much for someone. Like, why would they even leave? You know?
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I don't know. I feel like love. That's like the worst thing. Like, I feel like love can either be very good or love can be very bad at the same time.
Yeah. Imagine, I mean, I think the reason that love is so good is because the other side of it is so the opposite, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's like if you never had a relationship ever, you wouldn't know what it was like to if you never had a relationship, then when you lose it, you wouldn't even know the difference, right? You're like, oh,
yeah,
why is he complaining about losing a girlfriend? I don't know what that feeling is like. Well, because
yeah.
you never felt the other side of it, right? Where you feel like, oh
Exactly.
my god, I don't want to hang up. I don't want to hang up this line. No, you hang up first. You
Yeah.
hang up. Right, all the stuff you do in those relationships, and then you're like, well, there's the other side of that, right? And
Hmm.
yeah, I think the journey of like, right now is good. You got a plan. I'm taking care of me. I'm focusing on me. I'm focused on my goals, and to know that when the right time is right, the right time will be right.
Yeah.
And
No,
you'll,
no. I
yeah,
feel like exactly like with love, it comes to like deal with the mask too. Like there's two sides of everything. I feel like everybody
yeah,
has two sides. Like my friends, like they'd be like, "Oh, just move on," blah blah. But it's like when you care from someone, it's like moving on is just forgetting like good memories and stuff. You know, it's like I'm not gonna forget like moments where I felt like things were good.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like it's not the easiest thing to just move on. It's just like yeah, I don't know. It's like I feel like with teens too, it's like the mature aspect of it, like you just block each other or something. But like me, it's like why are we blocking? And like there's no reason for that. And it's like
yeah,
you're trying to ignore me and get me out of your life. But I was like I never did. Like me and I know many other people who've been in that same position. And you're like, oh, I've never done anything wrong. Like, what's the point? You know? It's just like I don't know. But it's like it related to my past too, just
mhm,
losing friends and everything. It's just like just seeing who's really there for you and who's not.
yeah. Well, I want to thank you for like helping other young men who go through that, right? Because if you're a young man who I was talking to a group of young men the other day, and we were talking about relationships when they end, right? It's like you
Hmm.
had this opportunity to somebody wanted to know everything you had to say, everything you were going through, and we
Yeah,
get that first opportunity. We like, blah, let me tell you everything, right?
exactly.
Then what happens is sometimes they're like, whoa, that's a lot. Like there's
Hmm.
there's a lot of that, right? And what happens sometimes is that we never knew what it was like to somebody to hear us, and
Yeah,
then we because we didn't have anyone else in our life that we were sharing parts of ourselves with. So we basically took this one person and poured all of it on that one person, and that person was like, "Whoa, I'm feeling heavy. It feels like too
yeah,
much." And with us, we're like, "Oh, then I'm never telling anybody again. I'm
yeah,
never opening my heart again. I'm never gonna let anybody in again
yeah,
because it hurts too bad." And it wasn't that no one should be in. It was that we didn't know necessarily how to regulate because we may only had that one person that we could tell everything to, and we told that one person everything, and maybe that person wasn't really capable of handling
yeah.
everything. Yeah, and so I think
No,
that
yeah,
when we began to spread out, we got our group of men over here, our young men that we can talk to and like really just get this is what I'm dealing with, this is what I'm dealing with, and then we got
yeah,
these people these things with, and we begin to have a mixture of places that we can be more of ourselves, and knowing that not just one person is ever meant to carry it all, right?
exactly.
They may be willing and they may say, tell me everything. I want to hear everything about you. And then
Yeah,
maybe they may mean it, but because they don't know what they're gonna get, they don't know how heavy that rock was, right? They think
yeah,
that, oh, some little rocks, and then you get one and you're like, whoa, that's actually that's heavy, you know?
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've never like put any like everything on someone. I've never. That's the thing. Like even my ex girlfriend, she didn't really know anything about like what happened outside of school. It was just like we didn't talk about it. So like they
Yeah.
didn't. There's nothing that I could have like. I didn't open up about anything till like that video that I
Mm,
posted, and like
got
even
it.
before that, I wouldn't really. Like I said, I didn't try to bring other people down. It was like I would put on a mask and I would just be like, man, like hopefully these people can just get like a good time out of me or something.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
if anything ever happens to me or something, it's just I hope people just can say cool things or like I inspire them to do something.
Yeah. But think about that part. I mean, I didn't know how much I was making just a generality about that statement, but imagine that. Like, if you were in a relationship and that person only knew like 20% of you or
Hmm.
30% of you, or say 50% of you, but there was half of yourself that you didn't feel comfortable sharing. Imagine how that makes the relationship really difficult too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like after like the breakup, I just looked back and I was like, man, like it's like a bunch of like regrets, but like I could have done something to make something better. But I
Yeah.
mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's just I just got people that are around me now, and I know that I'm gonna do whatever I can to help them out. Like if
Yeah.
they were to come to me, like I'm a very open person. I love talking to people, like especially like deep conversations. Like I can go hours on hours talking to someone. And
Awesome.
it's just like as long as I'm helping them, like man, I'm in it for the ride. Like I'm in it for the long run.
That's beautiful, man. Well, thank you for being that way. Thank you for being
Yeah,
that way. And I also just want to invite you, make sure that you have a place that you can do that for yourself, right?
yeah,
Because
exactly.
when we like to help others, when we like to give, we could be. And I know it because I'm that kind of way, right? I love helping, right? And sometimes
Hmm.
I don't feel like I don't say worth, but I feel like I don't want to bother people to get help I need.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I've become too.
Yeah. So I
Like
want to
that's
let
where
you
the whole
know.
like
Yeah. No, keep going. Keep going.
oh no, that's where like the whole point like where it's just like focusing on myself first before I can go help other people. It's
Yeah.
like I really love myself before I can go and help other people out with their situations. And
Yeah.
honestly, it's like that's been my main focus for like the past like 3, 4 months. So
Good.
just like focusing on myself and being able to get like new hobbies and stuff, and hopefully like I can find happiness through like doing it. Like making the first video, like it made me happy.
Yeah.
Like, it made me happy to see like people were inspired, and honestly, like it was just the other side where the overwhelming situations, everything just took from it. But it's like, man, like that sense where like people were coming to me, telling me their stories, like I couldn't ask for like something better. It was crazy.
Right on. Man, that's beautiful. And congratulations. And I'm very proud of you. And I'm glad to know you, man.
Yeah,
I
thank
mean,
you.
we've only just begun. So I'm excited
Yeah.
that you're going to be leading the charge at your school and helping more than 1,000 other students also experience the idea of like sharing their mask. I think it's going to be
Mhm.
phenomenal. I'm excited about what to see where you're going next. And I'm excited to be on the journey as long as the season needs to be. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
I'm excited too.
Right on.
I feel like as long as we can change people's lives, that's all that matters.
Right on. Is there anything else you want to say before? I mean, I think that's a good spot. I think we hit a good. That's a good piece.
Yeah. I mean, no, I mean just make sure check up on your loved ones, check up on your friends. People that smile the most could be battling the most. You never know, especially with the mask on. And even with the physical mask, I can't tell what someone's facial expression is. Like it's so hard to see. So like that's what the whole video is gonna be like. How we already hide behind a mask, but now there's a secondary mask and it's a physical one. So like if I'm laughing, like you can't even tell. It's like and you
Yeah.
just see my eyes. I mean, maybe my eyes will squint a little bit, but
Yeah.
like there's nothing to see that much, like especially without having to see every like facial feature and everything.
That's, dude. I can't wait to see what you create. I'm so juiced about that. That is so
I'll
exciting.
hopefully be coming out. I would say hopefully at the end of this week.
Oh my God.
I'm I'm about to shoot. I'm shooting an interview today about
Awesome.
about my best friend actually, like how he's dealt with putting on a mask and everything.
Mm.
And so it should be out. I would say this week,
Oh
end of this week.
man. Oh
I
man,
could
that's
send you the
exciting.
link too. I'll send you the link.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That would
Yep.
be great. Well, once we by the time this airs, we will make sure that we'll have it in the show notes. We'll have the
Okay.
video show notes, and we'll share any other place you want people to contact you, follow you. We'll get that in there, and I'm excited for you, man. I'm really excited for you. I have a feeling, just a feeling that you are taking this and making it really meaningful, not only in your life but also in the lives of others. And that's a voice that, you have a platform, an opportunity, and I'm excited that you're
Yep.
using it that way. So keep it
Thank
up.
you.
Keep
I
it up.
will.
Right on. Well, folks, I just want to say I'm so glad that Justin joined us in this conversation. We literally started chatting over the last week, and then we were like, man, I should have you on the show. And he was like, okay, how about today? I'm like, all right, how about in an hour? So we pulled this
Yep.
together really quick. I am so thankful for him. I am so appreciative of him being able to share some of his heart with us today. And we're gonna make sure that you have a way of following him. How about you? If people want to follow you in like social media, what's the best way for them to follow you? How can they?
On Instagram, my Instagram is Justin.Odom, Odom _ or you could even go to my YouTube channel. It's Justin Relates. So it's JustinRelates. And that's basically where I'll be posting the mask video, and it'll be other videos just to hopefully help people with their mental health and just share stories around.
Boom. That's it. That's all that needs to be said. We will put all those
Yeah.
notes in the show notes so you'll be able to click on it and reach out to him and just follow his work. I'm really proud of the work he's doing. And I look forward to you being a part of the Million Mask movement and knowing that you are not alone. That if you're feeling like you're
Yeah.
not talking about it and you don't have anybody, go on our website, make a mask, look at some other masks of people in maybe in your city, your age group, your gender, like wherever. But don't do it alone. And we're excited that we get to have conversations like this with young people, adults all over the world. And we look forward to you being a part of these conversations as well. Thank you so much. And thank you, Justin, for being with us today. If what you heard today you enjoyed, if you've listened to this and you found something inspiring, please like and subscribe this podcast. That's the best way for someone to find this podcast, maybe like you did. Please tell someone about it. If listen to some of our previous episodes, and if one of them rings out to you, please share it with somebody you know. We also invite people to join us in a face-to-face where they come together with another person to make a mask and talk about that mask together. There's short conversations, about 20, 30 minutes. So if that's something that's interesting to you, please send us a message, send us in the comments below, let us know that you're interested in that. And we look forward to you joining the movement of the Million Mask Movement. And check out our new shirt. I don't know if you can see it, but this is our new shirt, the Million Mask Movement. And so we'll have these soon available, but we look forward to you being a part of the movement and supporting our work. Please consider supporting the work that we do in Ever Forward and in the work that we do in the Million Mask Movement to let people around the world realize that they're not alone. Thank you.